Hello and welcome to Afcon 360 degrees. My name is Wale. It's obviously nice to join you again today. How's your day been? I hope your day been wonderful like mine has been. And it's a Friday. It's a weekend, a rest day at the Afcon in Cameroon. But we all know the teams that have qualified for the round of 16. And obviously, people, the teams are the ones that have qualified for the round of 16 are obviously preparing and making sure that everything goes to plan, because this is where the serious business actually starts. Because if you lose this time around, just one game, that's it, you're out, and you're going to be on the way back to your country, as we saw with Ghana when they lost out, and it was so surprising that Ghana lost out, and before you knew it, Partey was already playing for Arsenal, and he got red carded in the game they played yesterday against Liverpool. But that's a story for another day. Like I said, it's AFCON 360 degrees, covering the African Cup of Nations competition in Cameroon 2021. Please, if this is your first time watching us, don't forget to subscribe to the show. Have a look at what we've got on our channel. If you do like it, please give us a thumbs up and tell someone about us, okay? As always, I'm not alone. I've got our man on the ground who is there in Garoua, Cameroon, reporting. He's always been reporting, bringing us exclusive footages, contents, news, from all angles, not just from the Nigerian camp, but from the camp of everyone that's come to Garoua. And his name is Toby Adepoju. Toby, obviously, it's you are 1 hour ahead of us here in London at the moment, so it should be roughly about close to about 10:15 now in Garoua, Cameroon. How are you today?
Yeah, good evening. Good to be on the show. I'm feeling good. Rest day. I'm not sure for not sure for generally we're still working here, still trying to put content together. Super Eagles training, Tunisia arriving today. A few chat with the boys in camp. So we're getting ready. I hope I think the journalist will rest after the tournament. I don't think we'll find any rest. So it's interesting. The experience is interesting. It's getting more interesting right now. It's really the fact that your country is still in the tournament. It makes everything interesting. Like I saw a Ghanaian photojournalist, very popular in Ghana, who uploaded his pictures of him going back home with his luggage. So you don't want to have such experience. It's always good when your country, your team is still in the tournament, and it makes everything, it makes the work flow. Despite the workload, you still find joy and excitement in it.
And it's so. I think the issue about Ghana is actually it's like the talk of a town. I mean, probably because and people back home in Nigeria actually really talking about this a lot. I don't know, maybe because of the rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria, a rivalry in food, in jollof rice, and music, in Nollywood, in football. The rivalry is, although very healthy, but there seems to be quite a lot uproar and a lot of conversation about the fact that Ghana lost out. I mean, Ghana is not just the only team that have lost out. I mean, they've been kicked out of the competition, but there seems to be quite a lot of talks about Ghana. Why do you think this is so, Toby?
The bant was really massive, dominated the social media space, dominated the mainstream media, and like you said, is the band is LD. Started from the entertainment, a few weeks ago with I think Shatawale, against the Wizkid, against Burna Boy. So this thing we're building for a very long time. I think the issue of Jollof Rice was there a couple of years ago, and also on the football pitch, we had a lot of interesting game between both countries, a lot of rivalries. Like you said, it's LD, it's not physical, it's not violent. So it makes everything interesting. They also always wait to bunch us as well. So everything just comes together. The Chatawale issue, then the football, and everyone was just waiting for them. The moment they go to Gara, like, oh, you guys, if you lose, we'll drag you. It makes everything interesting. And I think the Ghanaians are also waiting for the Super Eagles, and I hope they will get disappointed with how, with how the Super Eagles will handle in this tournament. It was really shocking for them, to be honest. Even me, I never thought they would fail to progress or win here in Gara. I thought we got advantages against Comoros, forgetting the fact that a lot of upsets, have really happened in this competition. But I thought they would pull through. I mean, it was very unfortunate for them. Unfortunately for them, the captain, you got red carded. They find it very difficult to create chances. The future they created, the woodwork, through party free kick, and the play against the Comoros was very compact on that night. So honestly, it's an unacceptable result. I was expecting the coach to resign immediately after the game, and he's saying, "I have my job. I still want to take them to the World Cup qualifiers." And I mean, this brings conversation to the domestic coach and the foreign coach, and how much African tradition puts in bringing foreign coaches. I mean, this man should be sacked by now. I'm not sure there's news around him being sacked, but you understand the fact that, with due respect to the foreign coaches coming to Africa, they always take advantage of everything. They only have the contract in favor of them, and the Ghanaian FA might just be in a very tight corner right now, just like the NFF having to look for about 200 million or so more than that to pay General Hub. So I think it will get to a stage where the African FA need to think deep. We need to invest in our football. We need to invest in coaching. I mean, your domestic coach can come in and out if you don't perform well. For example, if your Austin is not good doing well, you want to put on a Lucia, you want to put on a Munike. I'm just talking from the general perspective. In Ghana as well, a lot of ex-players, a lot of people who are coaches, but we need to do a lot of investing into that. We need to create an atmosphere for them to succeed. We need to, create structures that will produce a lot of coaching. When we focus most in Africa, especially in West Africa, it's players. Even the talent are really even going down the drain because football is more of technology. Talent is not enough. So we need to do a lot of investment into the structure. But I mean, I don't fancy most of these foreign coaches come here, you take a lot of big dollars, big money, and then you pull up this embarrassing performance. Quite unacceptable.
And if you're a Ghanaian fan out there, or you're from Ghana watching this show, it would be nice to hear your opinion about what happened at the African Cup of Nations, because it's still a shock. I mean, even right here where we are in broadcasting from in London, the conversation, the band, the opera, it's loud. I mean, it's as loud as people hearing it all over in Kumasi, in Accra, everywhere in Ghana. So if you're watching, if it's anything you want to say about this, the fact that Ghana, got kicked out of the African Cup of Nations, please let us know. I'll thank you, Ola, for joining us from Twitter. Thank you. So if you've got any questions or any observation you want to make, just let us know. Still on Ghana, before we go into the round of 16 itself, I mean, a lot have been said about the coaches, but what about the players? They because at the end of the day, whatever happens, if the Ghanaian authorities decide to say, all right, yeah, we want to kick the coach out, we want to sack him, he's gone back to where he belongs anyway. But the players are still there. They are full-fledged Ghanaians. Are they not going to share in this blame? Because I saw this Ghanaian team and I'm sure one or two, probably you and Amos also make comparisons to the past Ghanaian teams. After the first game, Amos was very, very critical about the front line. How could they just score one goal or just a couple of
Mm,
goals in a competition like that? We're talking about big time players, all right? Players that
mm,
have seen it, they've done it, and they just perform so dismally. I mean, should the
mm.
players actually also share in this blame, not just the technical crew or the coaches?
Look, I mean, football is going to a direction which I dislike. I mean, these days the coaches takes almost 100% responsibility. Forgetting the fact that the players also fail to do their part. I mean, when I tweeted about the Ghanaian players not, crying, not showing enough how do I put it, enough pain. Some fans travel down here, some media guys invested money,
Hmm.
and then you're leaving with just 1 point in three grow games. And look at the players, they're just like, I mean, I was expecting them to show emotions. I was expecting them to really show emotions and to give something that the fans will say, oh, you guys were really passionate. Look at Party. He traveled immediately and you're on the bench for us now. I mean, these
That
days,
was
it's all about ego.
wow.
It's all about what, forgetting the fact that you also want to wear the national color.
Hmm.
Well, you guys will come here and tell you it's all about we are honored to be here. No. I think the Ghanaian players were terrible on the night. I mean, they were very, very, they've been terrible from the first day. Yeah, the coaching part could be there. It could be there. But what about the players motivating themselves at least to progress to the next round? Look at Egypt. Not a fantastic team. Lost the first game to them. Try to pick it up, manage. Salah got a chance in the second game, scored. The next game 1-0. They're through to the next round. I mean, if you get knocked out in the round of 16, a bit of respect for the players. Fans will also appreciate, okay, maybe it doesn't work this way, then we can say, okay, this is more of coaching. The Ghanaian players were terrible. Majority of them deserve to pull off that collar anymore. But at the end of the day, coaches, takes the stick. You start the coach, you bring a new coach, and these players still remain. You look at what you could see. I don't know if you saw some clips of Ashima Gian in the sports studio. This guy was almost running back. These are players who got passion. And when the Ghana coach mentioned Ashima Gian about not having such talent anymore, I think it's beyond even talent. It's about someone who is passionate about the
Hmm.
national team. Look at when Gian missed the penalty in the World Cup. This guy almost losing everything. He almost ran mad. He lost everything. But look at this player. So I expected more from the players, but when actually a lot of people were saying, "Oh, football has been, yeah, players are being matured these days." No, they should show their emotions. They should understand that a lot of people were hard disappointed with their performance because if they are up their game in that, I mean, they were at some point they were close 2-1, looking at it 2-2. You consider, oh, look at the goalkeeper, terrible. Look at the back, terrible. Look at Partey. Can Partey defend so badly like that at Arsenal and even be on the bench? Or you want to play badly for Ghana and the next game you still want to start? I mean, it's quite unacceptable from the players. I think they should share from the blame. Some players should leave. I don't think what the younger youth do in this national team. I mean, no scoring striker, terrible performance for the national team. And they get on the score sheet, and they get on target. What are you still doing in the national team? I mean, they pull up a very terrible performance. Unfortunately, I didn't see their games during the World Cup qualifier, so I find it very difficult to tell them on the large scale. But for what I saw at this Afcon, majority of these players, needs to go.
Hmm. Yeah, and talking about the round of 16 now. So we've got the teams all lined up. We've got Guinea, the Gambia, Cameroon, Comoros, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Morocco, Malawi. We got Burkina Faso, Gabon, Nigeria, Tunisia, Senegal, Cape Verde, Mali, Equatorial Guinea. Out of all those teams, there are some teams that you expect should have no business in that round of 16. I mean, no disrespect. Like we always say that in African football, there are no small teams, especially when you come to the competition itself. There are no small teams, and no disrespect to this competition or to these teams, to these African strong, wonderful African countries. But when you look at the antecedents of African football, you look back and you don't see some very familiar teams, some very familiar nations in this round of 16, you begin to wonder what is going on. I mean, we said it before, even at the start of this show. I mean, when we our first ever episode of the show, Afcon 360, we said, watch out for all these small African, so-called small African countries. There are no small African countries, but they keep saying, watch out. We kept saying, watch out, watch out, watch out. And man, have they shown that they are, lions? I mean, you cannot say the Gambia is a small African country when it comes to football now, because when you are looking at the top 16 African countries at the moment, all these teams are there. I remember I had a conversation with someone, and I did mention this episode one of this show. Someone said to me, "Watch out for the Gambia," and I'm so glad that that person has been proved right, because the Gambia are also going to play Guinea. But before we look at that side of the round of 16, let us look at the side where Nigeria is. That's the side on the right hand. If you're watching the show, it's on your right. So the games are going to be Burkina Faso v Gabon. That is going to be played on the 23rd of January, and Nigeria and Tunisia also on the 23rd of January. We've got Senegal and Cape Verde on the 25th of January, and also Mali v Equatorial Guinea on the 26th of January. Toby, when this competition started, we're looking at the teams on the right side now. Did you ever think the likes of Equatorial Guinea? Yeah, they've been in the semi-finals before, but don't forget they hosted it when they got to semi-finals. Did you ever think the likes of Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, and those two would be in the round of 16? I mean, you're just looking at the ones on the right at the moment. Maybe by tomorrow we'll be able to analyze those on the left. But did you ever think these teams would be there instead of the traditional, in quotes now, African teams like, Algeria, Ghana, and the likes of it?
Absolutely. I think Equatorial Guinea, I will never put my money on them. I will never bank on them to get this. They are the biggest shocker for me on our own route. Biggest shocker, because you look at Burkina Faso, you could fancy their chances with Cape Verde, Ethiopia, with Cameroon. You could say, okay, Burkina Faso, maybe 4 points, and it happened. If you're in this kind of a group, maybe if you take off Cameroon, then you can fancy your chances to get 4 points in between Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Ethiopia. And that's what happened with Burkina Faso. I mean, but you look at Equatorial Guinea in a group with Sierra Leone. We did well in the World Cup qualifiers. Was it World Cup or the Afcon qualifiers against Nigeria? And I mean, they've been able to pick something in a few years. A few years ago, they were trying to pull up some decent performance on the African continent. But Equatorial Guinea in a group with the champions of Algeria, and they got the job done against the champions.
Wow.
Really, this is the reason why it makes it very big. It makes it, one of the biggest upsets in this tournament, and one of the, team that made progress in the group stage, because they got the job done, not relying on anything to favor them. They got the job done by themselves, by defeating the champions, and finished with 6 points behind Cordova. So honestly, it's really massive. For Gambia, like you said, a lot of people didn't notice Gambia. They've been building, this team for a couple of years. It has always been around, in and out. I mean, like a couple of years ago, they started with under 13. They decided to have a model. They decided to restructure every entire football. In Gambia, started with under 13, under 20. If you read their history, they have been working over the years. And it will get to a stage, when most of these players peak, it will reflect on your result. The elite national team. This is what we saw with the Gambia. 7 points, really massive. And you say, okay, maybe against Tunisia, but I fancy them to progress in this one. But I was thinking, okay, maybe the Gambia will be one of the best ones. Are finishing with 4 or 5 points. But I mean, they go a step higher by finishing with 7 points. But I mean, on this result, Equatorial Guinea is the biggest gainer for me. I never thought they would be here, and I mean, I think they will give it a good fight against Mali.
And obviously Nigeria is going to be playing Tunisia, and that should be a tough game. I mean, we've always have it against the Tunisians, the Algerians, and Egyptians. But what's your assessment of our preparations for this Tunisian? Don't forget, we've already beaten a North African team anyway in Egypt.
Mm.
Do you see any similarities between the way the Tunisians and the Egyptians play?
Yeah, I think the okay. Let's go back to history. The 2006 Arsenal Gabon, quarterfinal game was against Tunisia. Tunisia were defending champions,
Yeah.
and Arsenal Gabon, defeated Tunisia via penalties. And a few days ago, as if Arsenal Gabon was going to play Tunisia, and said we have to spend, make more penalties. And it's also good to see a manager who thinks ahead of the situation. And now Tunisia, honestly, we do respect to Tunisia. I don't want to be arrogant here. I don't think they can give the Super Eagles team a lot of problems. First thing, the advantage, the fact that we play Egypt first, we are more a bit stronger team than them and more bigger star, with Salah, give us an idea of what this team could do against the North African team. So I don't think it will be new with the Tunisian side. I've seen the Tunisian side play all their 3 games in the group stages. I mean, I don't want to use the word poor team, but I mean they are not on the level of Super Eagles. Hopefully the boys, will just take the legs off the pedal, and it will be a day where the boys will be having bad day or bad games. So, but with what I've seen with both teams, quality for quality, players for player, coaching, I don't think this Tunisia side will trouble the Super Eagles much. But it's always there. The fear is always there. The round of 16, you want to take it very easy. You want to be careful about it. You don't want to start chasing the game. You want to try to be ahead. You don't want your performance in the group stage to get into your head, because we've seen a lot of teams dominate the group stages and they get to the knockout stages and they falter. So, and I think Austin is really working with that with the boys. He has been. Everything we achieved in the group stage is gone right now. Every hype, every support we get from the fans is over. It is not the next round. So they understand the message. I think there's a very strong message for Austin, for a man who has been there before. So, and also for these players as well. So a couple of them together were saying, okay, we played Tunisia in the last Afcon, in the bronze medal, game, and they defeated them. Though a bit difficult game, managed to score one and they won. So honestly, I've seen a lot of people express fear. I don't know, maybe I'm a bit overconfident, but I don't think. But I think this Tunisia side is not a team to be worried about. And like I said, if you can stay through this Tunisia side, I think this thing will get to the semi-final, and then maybe final is something that we still have to think about. But I think the Super Eagles will get the job done against Tunisia. And I'm also excited that we're facing Tunisia. The Ghana side could be even more difficult, in this next one than Tunisia. So, and the Tunisia comes with a lot of hype, with a lot of pedigree, which also makes our boys to really, wake up to ensure that, they're not allowing this to go easily, to put a lot of fight, just like how it happened against Egypt. No one gave them a chance. Everyone thought, okay, man, they will lose this game. And this boys, rose up to the challenges, had a very high game in that one. So, the Tunisia side also come with pedigree. The Gambia could give us something to say, oh, I think we're favorites. But with the Tunisian side, they're not favorites. It makes the boys really ensure that they work out and they put a lot of fight into the game. But honestly, I want people to relax. I want people to relax. I don't think the Tunisian side is talking to players. I think we'll skate.
Toby, you know what? I wish I could be as confident as you, honestly. But every time you say this, and we play a match, we seem to the Super Eagles seem to always prove you right, And if you're watching now, that this is Toby getting the Tunisians when they were landing in Garoua today. That was the flight, the Tunisians landing in Garoua, and our man Toby was there to capture, their to their welcome to Garoua, the home of the Super Eagles. So. Toby, a lot of people now feel we now know these Super Eagles. Going into this competition, quite a lot of people that didn't feel the Super Eagles were going to do anything because they came with so much baggages into this competition. They just sacked the coach. They had a new coach. COVID was like ravaging the team. The star players weren't there, especially we were thinking who's going to score this goal for the Super Eagles. Osimhen, the guy that probably scored the most goals for the Super Eagles this last year, was missing. Igalo was missing. The guy that's been setting the Premier League on fire. We're talking about Emmanuel Dennis was
Yeah.
missing. And someone like Leon Balogun, who's always been the number one pairing with True Second, was also missing. And people were like thinking, we don't see Super Eagles doing anything good, but they surpassed that. Now, do you think the Tunisians are now looking at the Super Eagles and thinking, oh, we might have underestimated them, but I think these guys really mean business. Do you think they're probably going to race their games against the Super Eagles and probably want to cause an upset now?
Yeah, absolutely, they will. They will pull up a great fight. I don't think I don't think they want to come to Gara and just enjoy the city and leave. I mean, they want to prove, they want to prove that the performance in the group stages was just a blip. They're decent. They will prove all that. But I mean, like Austin said, no secret anymore in this tournament. Everyone knows each other. We've seen 3 games from all the teams, so I mean, you don't have anywhere to hide. You know, all you can do is maybe you try to switch your formation. It still be the same personnel. It will still be the same players. I don't even think Austin will switch formation. I think it will still stick with the normal first team players. So everyone knows Moses. Everyone knows Tyler Oni. Everyone knows Indeed. Just like also you have data and details about the Tunisian side. But at the end of the day, quality top everything and how the players react on the pitch. How the players stay focused, take advantage, be clinical. Looks very solid at the back. Everything works for you at this stage. And so, I mean, I know Tunisia will. I mean, like I said, they come with a lot of pedigree, and also it gives our players, different mentality going into the game. It could have been the Gambia. We could have just said maybe the boys would be a bit, slight and say, oh, it's the Gambia. But Tunisia, I don't think they will be very easy to sleep. I mean, since yesterday they will be thinking, oh, Tunisia, this is a very big game, and I like that. I like that atmosphere already in camp. Like this is a big game. But watching both things, I don't think they can stop the Eagles. I think the Eagles are really on fire. I mean, and the good thing about the last game, like we said on the last show, is the fact that now we know we have players from the bench. It is not about the first team players anymore. So I mean, if some certain players are not clicking on the pitch, there are a couple of guys that could come from the bench and also pull up surprises or add quality to what we have on ground. So I mean, the last game also gives them gravel. That confident that he has a last squad now. At least 20, 21 players that can push as much as possible in this tournament. Yes, hopefully we need Moses to still be in a very top form. We will try to stop Moses. The reason why Gavon have to have is if we plan B with other wingers or other midfielders or other strikers, because we usually plan for our key man. In the middle of the park, we try to stop Aribo, we try to stop Simon. So who are the guys coming on from the bench? If Simon and Aribo is not working, I think Juki and the rest, will find it easy when they come in. You can also bring quality. We've seen what they did the last time. Maybe Wakale also when the Rebels not working. But I mean, with the form of these boys, I don't think Tunisia will stop them. I think we will progress. I'll be more scared even if we make the Gambia in the quarterfinal. Well, this Tunisia side is very terrible, but I mean, a lot of people want to be scared of it is Tunisia. And like I said, I love the game. I love the kind of game we're playing. I mean, it's also give us a wake up call. If it beat Tunisia, it will also help the momentum of the team. I mean, if you take off Tunisia in the round of 16, and maybe you're playing in Gambia or Burkina Faso in the quarterfinal, it gives you that momentum that we have to get through past it all to get to the semi-final. I mean, it's waiting for us, but like I said, I am confident. Like you also said, that they prove me right every time. I hope they won't prove me wrong this time around, but I'm confident. I think the boys will get the job done on Sunday.
We're going to take a quick break, and once the break will be going on, we're going to listen to one or two Super Eagles players, and we're also going to see some other videos that are being captured by our man Toby Adepoju on the ground. Toby, before we go on the break, I want you to put down these issues and this question before we come back. We saw the game against Guinea-Bissau and Nigeria, where Nigeria won the game. And just like you mentioned, some boys came on and did wonders. I know I asked this question the last time, but would Eguavoen sat down, you watched that game against Guinea-Bissau and probably scratching his head thinking, I think I might have one or two players I might want to use against Tunisia, basically, if those guys, some of those guys that played against Guinea-Bissau, are giving Iguavon a very good, not nasty headache, but a very good headache. Ponder on those, and when we come back, we will continue on the show. So we're going to take a quick break. It's still Afcon 360 degrees. I'm still chatting with our man on the ground in Garoua, Cameroon, Toby Adepoju. And when we come back, we'll continue. Stay there. Welcome back from that short break. You saw the Olisanda, the guy that plays in South Africa for a South African club side. Um, First Nations Cup competition for the defender, who actually celebrated his birthday today, I think. This is wishing him a very good birthday. I hope he had a good one. I hope he had a slice of cake and not celebrated that much because we need the team to be very focused. So, well, that was Aman, obviously, telling the fans to keep supporting. Obviously, he's got enough support from the more senior players in the team. Yeah, and when he came on the game against Guinea-Bissau, he actually did well. And Emmanuel Dennis sent off in the 77th minute in the game, Watford by v Norwich. Norwich still goes up, and he wish he had gone to Afcon now. well, I hope he's thinking that because it will have been better being in Afcon getting sent off against Norwich. Um, Before we went on a quick break, Toby, we were speaking about the selection headache for Austin Eguavon. We saw the game against Guinea-Bissau where the Super Eagles won 2-0. Do you think there are any players there that the coach probably will have seen and then probably giving him a sleepless night for a day or two, thinking, oh, maybe I should use this guy, against Tunisia, whatever. Do you think he's probably thinking along those lines, or is he going to stick to the boys he has persecuted all the other matches with as a starting lineup?
I I, I think Austin would try to look at the team once more. He would try to look at the first team and the head changes he made, and then maybe try to say, I don't know. I'm not sure he will make changes, but he should be worried. And I think he's worried. Positive, headache, which is good, which is what I was willing to see. I think the first player is Semi Ajayi. Very, very impressive. Very
Mm.
solid. He had a solid and technical game. But I mean, if you put it on a par, will you just put an experienced Kenneth on the bench who did well in the first two games? Even Kenneth, not the 100% fit in the second game, but I mean, it was still there, was top notch. So the experience might just be the reason why Kenneth might just come back to the team. If not, Kenneth, Semi had a brilliant game. Among all the changes, I think Kenneth, Semi was the most rated, players. Collins also. I was really surprised with Collins' performance. That should be one of Collins' best performance in recent times. Maybe after the Cape Verde game away from home. I mean, recent times this should be one of Collins' best. And the fact that Collins was first choice before he came late to camp and Seidu took up, and he was able to show something. But it's good, Seidu is not available. Maybe suspension and injury. There's Collins who could come in and fit in. The goalkeeping situation I'm a bigger fan of Uzor. So I respect Okoye, but I'm a bigger fan of Uzor. I think Uzor should be the first choice. But I mean, the coaches have different opinions from Janet Trot till now. Okoye is more younger, is the future, I agree. But and then Uzor, yes, made one mistake, but you could say they'll play more with the team. Uzor could use the ball. Ball service was much better. We need that kind of performance in the next round. I mean, if your opponent lock everywhere, you need a goalkeeper to do some crazy time that could just break their team. So I think Uzor was better for me. I don't maybe, but I think Okoye might come back. But for me, that is what I noticed in the team. Another player that really impressed, what was the situation with Iwobi. Yes, on the right side, he did decently, but the moment he was introduced to play at the middle of the park. I think behind Olayinka, he did pretty well. And I've been saying it. I don't think I fancy Iwobi more as a winger. Yes, he's played more games in Europe and also Super Eagles as a winger, but he did well. When he played central role in the midfield, and it's also good. Okay, if Aribol is being kicked, then Iwobi can come and fit into that position. If the Wakale experience, cannot compete at this level. So there's an Iwobi, or if Yana Chol is not clicking, there's an Iwobi that could come in and play behind the striker, and also bring quality and different dimensions to the team. Oyekurula as well on the play right. He came in a lot of energy. He was very quick. He was very fast. He has been sharp also in training. So if Chukwueze is not clicking, Oyekuru could also come into play. So I think these few players really impress me. But I don't think Austin will try to change the team. He's a man who has believed so much in this first team. And also he respects the players on the bench as well. The reason why he has ensured that everyone has played a single minute apart from Awazi, who had injury with illness and ankle injury. Every single outfield player has played at least a minute in this tournament. So it shows a manager who carries everyone along, but who says, okay, this is my first team. This is my second team. But my second team, I want you to be good as my first team. So when it's not working with the first team, you also have the privilege to come in and play and also, give it all for your country. Like he said, it's a privilege. And he said he has been telling all the players that everyone will get a chance. So I think all the players will be surprised to see how everyone has played the single, even with Olisa Inda. When I was trying to Olisa Inda at the right back in training, a lot of us were complaining like, but he knew Olisa it would be difficult for Olisa to play from the central defense. I mean, we had more experience than him. So he has been playing Olisa in training since Abuja. So when I introduced him, a lot of people were like, oh, Olisa, right back. Oh, wow, Olisa. Because I've seen Olisa when he was in the MPF, he could play as a GM. That's what I've seen him play outside the defensive role. And to see him play from the right back. Well, he has been doing this in training. So this is a manager who knows his players, who knows what he's trying to do with them. So I don't think it will switch, but I think it will still have some positive headache about maybe to do one or two changes, especially with semi-performance. But kind of experience is something that is difficult to live out going to that initial game. And then the midfield, it will be difficult for him to say, okay, maybe Kelechi Iheanacho to start from the bench and it will be, to slot in there. Or Amoyekuru for Chukwueze. Maybe that is where we are going to see, it changes. And also, I was very happy for Olayinka. Umar he's suffering for a lot of criticism. I don't think he has that is really being bad like the way people have been saying it, but it could also bring something very good for us going forward in the game. If you want to play more physical game, you need a player that will come in first 20 minutes, 15 minutes to end the game to come with that physical battle with his height. If Austin decided to switch, because I don't think we play to his strength in the last game. If you have an Umar with such height, you need to ensure that your wingers, drop a lot of
Mm.
long balls, into the final thought. But it's all good. But I think Austin will have to Austin would think for a few seconds to say maybe he should make one or two changes. Hopefully, when it comes to the press conference tomorrow, we might be able to twist him and get some words from him.
Yeah, and I'm sure you would. Toby, before the Afcon itself, the Super Eagles got, and this is me just looking forward now. The Super Eagles, sorry, the NFF, not the Super Eagles, contracted another foreign coach, Jose Pizarro, to be the new technical advisor or the manager of the Super Eagles right after Iguaba's tenure, after the African Cup of Nations. And the remit then was he was going to be an observer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but have you, has anyone seen any sign of Jose Pizarro, or is he anyone knows if he's actually watching the African Cup of Nations? Because right after the African Cup of Nations, we have less than a month to prepare for the World Cup, and we wouldn't want a situation then, as it is, as it were now, we've got a core team that we're looking to prosecute the World Cup qualifiers. We don't want a situation where another coach comes in, now brings his new system in, now start introducing some new boys in to blending and whatever. Any sign of this guy at all, or any word from him?
We never see Joseph for here. Honestly, it's not here. We've not seen him around, and I'm not sure he's willing to come, or maybe he's watching. He could be watching. I won't disagree with that, but I think I'm beginning to see a lot of things differently. Even though I've not really opened, this is my first time I'm speaking about it. I think NFL played a smart game on us, and also on Austin Guavon. Yes, I think they played a smart game because got the information about 2 days ago that Priscilla has not even really agree with the NFF. So there's still, pending conversation around it. I think yes, some previous rumor about, I want 3 months to be paid ahead. We want to give you a short contract. The World Cup playoff will determine a lot. So I mean, this conversation has been around, and it delayed the official signing, which why I said NFF, played a smart game on us and also on Austin. So they were not really sure about Austin and Gavon, truth to be told, and a lot of Nigerians. I was very careful with my opinion when Austin was appointed. You know, a lot of people were quick to come out and point out to his failure at club side. And I told people, I've been involved in the Nigerian league for 11 years. It's difficult for the same people like Austin to survive in that extent. You look at it, yes, it's difficult. You have to be an extraordinary human being, or you decided to say, okay, I really want to succeed here. And for Austin, who I think has options, I don't think he's a broke guy. I think he has something going on for him. If football is not working, I don't think he will go hungry. So for such human being, I don't think they will be desperate to stay longer in the MPFL, especially with the conditions. But people should forget that at the national team, he did well. Even at the under 17, a lot of people said in Trinidad and Tobago, he produced a lot of players. Mikel and the rest will be booking, pass through that rank. So I was very careful to make a quick opinion about him. I really want to see what he could do. And one of the reasons why I tried to go to Abuja early to see what he was doing with the boys in Abuja. And the moment I got to Abuja and I saw what this guy is doing with this team, and I said, I think this guy know what he's doing. And I mean, credit to him, credit to the players for him to turn around the team in less than 1, 2, 3 weeks. It's really, yes, I know he hasn't achieved anything. You could also be a failure if you fail to beat Tunisia in the round of 16. But we can also give him credit. For what we saw in the last 12, 14 months and where we are today, it means there's still a lot of hope if you have good brains on the bench. So I think the smart game is working. It also put Austin on his toes. I always tell people here, forget about all this thing Austin says in the press conference. Oh, Casaro can come, I can work with Jose, I'm his boss. Bros, if you book this kind of thing, you go on make you be there for long. You go on be there for long. So yes, but I expect his opinion. He's always been careful anytime this question, pop out, at the press conference. But I think his smart game is working. It also encourage all the entire crew to work together because I also think what is working for them. You look at the way Austin works with everyone, with Salisu, with Paul, everyone has his duty. Everyone is contributing. Look at what I mean. For every substitution, Austin communicate with the bench. And there's coming. So I watched Genetro in our last game in Lagos for the entire 90 minutes because sometimes I try to look at the manager. I look at what you do with your bench. For the entire 90 minutes, Genetro did not do one communication with his bench. I mean, so when you look at the way Austin relate with the bench, the way he makes decisions, the way they split programs, and everyone is working with this part, you're doing this, everyone is busy. So it makes everything interesting and it's working for them. So I think it's a smart game. If that guy hasn't signed till now, he's not in Cameroon. It's a smart game that is working. It means if Austin can get to as much as get to the semi-final, he has this job for the World Cup playoff. After the World Cup playoff, we can now start saying, get me a long-term contract.
Welcome, Amos. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping in on
go on.
to be
Go on.
finished.
Yeah.
You remember our second to the last game when the journalists asked General, "Oh, why didn't you make changes?" I think it was second to the last game in the World Cup qualifier that he didn't make any substitution. And they asked him, "Oh, what's happening? What's going on? Why didn't you make substitution?" He said the boys were not tired. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Are you saying that the boys were not tired? That's why you didn't make any substitution?" And we saw that the boys were not producing enough. And you, are the coach, you're telling us that the boys were not tired. That was when I got tired about General. We're not saying that, we're not trying to discredit what General has done, but we give him all the credit for everything he has done. Because if you look at it, yeah, this is a team. The team that General has put together are the ones who are at Afcon now. And there's no much difference. But the difference is that special touch that we've just been waiting for, that little spark, just that difference is what Eguavoyen has been able to do now. I'm sure, just like Toby said, ask him one on one if he really wants to remain coach of the Super Eagles. He will tell you yes. Who doesn't want to be the coach of the Super Eagles? Who doesn't want to take the team to a World Cup? Who doesn't love that position? Who doesn't love the position of the coach of the Super Eagles? And I'm sure he would even prefer this role to the technical director role, because the technical director role, you are much more an insider. You're much more in the background. People don't really see what you do, but you're working. But you would really love to be front-facing man, the man who is right there in the thick of the action, the man who is. I don't know how much of pressure, but I think working for the Nigerian Football Federation is pressure itself. It's a lot of pressure. It's not a simple job, and it's not an easy job at all. Working for the Nigerian Football Federation. I think you guys. I've listened to what Toby has said in the background. I've watched all along on YouTube. And I think Toby spot on. Without disrespecting this Tunisian side, I watched their best game so far is still the game against Mauritania, and that's because they scored 4 goals against Mauritania. I'm not saying that we would disrespect them, but there's nothing special really, nothing really special. My special teams in this Afcon is Ivory Coast, Cameroon. Those are the people that I think have really made an impact, and Nigeria really, because if you think about it, yeah, look at the way they have played, look at the way these 3 teams have played. They are the teams that are really going outright for the killer. They are the teams that are not joking. If you watch them going forward, in the middle, at the back, they have it all going good, and we are not that bad, really. Starting this competition, we didn't think, many of us didn't give this team a chance. Even I myself, I would always say, I always thought that, oh, let's just go and enjoy ourselves. Let the boys just go and have fun. But now at this stage where they are, oh, we don't pass fun stage. Oh, it's to get serious. It will be fun again, because now they've proven that they can actually do it. They've got the right mentality. They've got the right backing. It's just that when all this jamboree comes on, oh, we'll give you $250,000. I don't like it. All these things are just unnecessary distraction. Let the boys
I'm not
focus.
sure.
You
I'm
guys
not sure the boys have been sorted. I'm not sure the boys are distracted. Amos, majority of these promises will just come.
Yeah,
Everybody comes to your dressing room and talk and do a lot of things. These boys
yeah,
are not kids. They understand how it works. Everyone wants to jump on them because it's success right now. And I mean, they knew and they also
yeah.
understand that
Yeah.
they've not achieved anything. So I don't think there's any distraction for them. I don't think so.
Amos,
I'll be happy they continue focusing. Yeah, go on. Go on.
You mentioned Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon, and luckily they're not on our side of the round of 16. I mean, they're not on the journey, on the same
Mm.
journey as us. If we are going to, again, there are no small teams in the African Cup of Nations, all right? But again, if you're going to look at the people that might be a stumbling block to Nigeria's further
Johnny.
journey into the final, we're looking at teams like probably Senegal, but first and foremost, that will be Gabon and Burkina Faso right at the top. So the winner of that will play the winner Nigeria v Tunisia. So if eventually we're probably going to meet a team that will probably feel actually really strong, a team that has FIFA best goalkeeper. We're talking about Edu Mendy, a team that has Sadio Mane,
Yeah.
a team that has Khalidou Koulibaly, Senegal. So that team will probably, from permutations, if everything goes according to plan, we probably might be meeting that team in the semi-finals. So I know we're jumping ahead of ourselves now because we've not even played the round of 16, and not to talk of the quarters and semi-finals. But I mean, this journey, do you see? Is it probable that Nigeria will scale through for permutation's sake, for patriotism's sake? Nigeria will beat Tunisia. Nigeria will beat Gabon after that. Then probably meet Senegal.
Honestly, the truth is that at this stage of the competition, everybody is scared to play Nigeria, and that's
Mm,
that's the truth. Whether we like it or not, I'm not just being patriotic. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of how the teams have performed. What exactly has Senegal done special? Nothing, nothing. They've just won only one match, and it was via penalty. I think that was the penalty that what's his name now? Mane scored.
managed to. Yeah.
Against Zimbabwe. They've not done anything special. They are struggling. The guys are struggling. They are struggling to find their feet. But the truth is, where we are right now, we've gotten there based on merit. We've gotten there based on performance, total performance. The boys have really, really gotten it right, and that's why they are there right now at the minute. Gabon, I don't think they are match for us any day, anytime. So with the way we are right now, if we get to pass through, scale through Tunisia, it's going to be a tough game, no doubt. Because the game is going to be really fast. It's going to be a very pacey one. You know, and that's what we should expect because their front line are very quick. So our defenders should be ready for fight. Our wing backs, they need to be ready. And Ola, I trust them. The guys on the left, Zaidu, they should be ready. Collins. But if we scale through, definitely, the Gabonese, the Senegalese, everybody is scared of Nigeria at the minute. Trust me, because if you look at teams, when a team is scoring goals versus a team that are not scoring goals, look at the level of opposition that they struggled against. Malawi, Zimbabwe, come on. These are the teams that before this time we might even be saying, can we beat these people? But now we've seen that, hey, I think we've got the right man on the job, you know, who has instilled something different in the team. So going forward, I think we will scale through and we will definitely, you know, make it. We can do it. We can do it. I don't want to be overly ambitious. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but we can do it.
Mm. Felix Peters, watching on YouTube, said if the Tunisians, he actually said Tunisians are a match for the Super Eagles, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
And he said if they don't improve their play, they can't even come close. He's talking about Senegal. So Senegal needs to improve their game to
Senegal
even.
really need to improve. Yeah, they really
Mm,
need to improve. They've been very shambolic. They've not going forward. Their build up play is really slow. You ask yourself again, how did they even qualify? because they don't deserve to be there. It seems like Zimbabwe deserve to qualify ahead of these guys. Really, you know, no team should be. Some teams have been really lucky, and that's number one. Senegal, they're very lucky to have qualified. Actually, they're
Mm,
really lucky to have made it through. Look at what the Zimbabweans are doing. They've got spirit, they've got passion, they've got everything going for them. The only thing they lack is quality up front. And this team, this Senegalese team as well, with all the quality that they gather, they've not been able to do much. That's
mm.
it. But this is competition. It's not a league. Again, it's a competition. When it gets to quarterfinal stage, round of 16, everybody gets serious, and that is when you begin to see the true play. Hopefully, we will not be unlucky. That's just it. If we are not unlucky, honestly, we can go all the way. If we don't get unlucky,
Well, to both of you, I think we've run out of time now. Toby, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully tomorrow you'll have more good news for us coming from the Super Eagles camp. There will be the press conference. We're looking forward to the questions they go up on, and we'll be answering at the press conference. And obviously, just like every other person has said, Felix Peters is saying one interesting thing about Super Eagles is that they try to win the ball back immediately they lose it. That is a very great attribute. I'm sure you
Mm.
agree with that, Toby.
Yeah, exactly. With it did has done a lot of such this tournament, and it's really good for us. We don't stay too long without the ball, and when we have the ball, we make use of it, and we make it impactful as well.
Hmm. Well, on that note, I want to thank you for joining us on the show again today, Toby. Go have a very deserved night rest. I know as journalists, there's no rest until after the competition. So
Yeah,
make use of the rest you can till tomorrow. Thank you so much, Toby, for joining us from Garo and Cameroon. And to
everyone.
Amos, thank you. And to Amos that joined us briefly, thank you so much for joining us. And special thanks to go to all of you watching out there, and it's for those that have also made comments. Felix Peters, thank you so much for the comments, and I can't read all the names. Peder Shahad, um, I'm not sure what you wrote, but thank you for watching. And also, we had the Ola Magnet. Oh my God, that's a lovely name. I hope you're a goalkeeper, so you'll be saving all the shots coming to your post. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us on this show today. Please, if you know you enjoyed your time with us, please subscribe and tell someone about this show. Okay, join us on YouTube and have a look at what we've done in the past. And if you do like that, give us a thumbs up and tell someone about us. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Until we come your way next time, special thanks also to my series producer Yomi Omokwejo, making sure that we were able to talk to Cameroon, Sheffield, London. Okay, until I come your way soon, my name remains Wale. Have a very good night. See you later.